Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with the 2023 Volvo XC40 Recharge. So the XC40 is Volvo's compact little SUV. It's a really good looking little SUV. The Recharge itself, as you can probably tell from the grille, is the electric model. So the electric model is in many ways very different from the standard one. As far as the interior experience and dimensions and the overall dimensions of the vehicle, they're pretty much the same for gasoline or electric. But with the electric model, of course, you have a 78 kilowatt hour battery, and you have all-wheel drive by default with electric motors driving those axles. So total range on this, the EPA estimates range at about 224 miles per charge. I think a lot of people will get somewhere around there, maybe a little more. I road tripped this when I first got it. It had about an 84% charge. I drove all the way from Golden, Colorado to Cheyenne, which is not a small distance, and also it's all stop and go freeway through Denver, that area. But that little highway drive, I still had a lot of range left when I got home. I had over 40 miles left, and yeah, so, and then having driven it over the week and spent some time on the highway and other things, I will say that most people should get somewhere in the neighborhood of that EPA rating. Efficiency in this is pretty good. I really like the fact that you can one pedal drive it. I also like the fact that it is just about right sized for the market it's aiming for. So let's talk about the design, and then we will look at the working and get inside it and try to beat the wind. It got windy all of a sudden, and these clouds started showing up, so I suspect it's going to rain soon. But, you know, that's how timing works. All right, so yeah, let's get to those other points and talk about this XC40. All right, from the side, you can see the sleek design of this thing. I really like the look of the XC40. Pretty classic Volvo. Volvo likes to do the two-tone roofs. They like to do that large rear pillar, and they like to do just the way the cuts are and the flatness of that's kind of Volvo's hallmark. They're generally flat, which is not a bad thing if it's done well, which it is here. This is a very well done design. So with me in the picture, you can kind of get a perspective on how small this vehicle is. But you can see that roof line looks like it slopes, but it's only actually sloping at the very end back there. It's pretty much flat. The belt line is flat until that upward curve on that large rear pillar. The beauty of this setup is that rear pillar is not impeding any of your visibility from inside the car. It's too far back to bother you. What does get you is this one. This pillar is very fat. And sitting in the driver's seat as anyone of any size, like me, I'm 6'3", you are not going to be able to look over your shoulder and see anything. You rely entirely on these. So yeah, good thing is these are large. So, excuse me. So that's usually a good thing. You're pretty much okay. Visibility is pretty good in this. One thing I don't like is by default, it tilts these mirrors way down when you're backing up. I hate that, but you can turn it off in the infotainment, but you got to dig around to find that. So Volvo's new infotainment system is based on a new Google platform, and I like that idea, but certain things on there are really difficult to find. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, design-wise, simple cut lines, simple movement. You see the clamshell hood, and you see just it's in this color. This is probably the best color in the lineup. There's one other color that's a little more green, a little darker green, that's also very good. Otherwise, it's, you know, white and gray and silver and whatever. But really nice setup there. So I love the wheels on this. I love the amount of ground clearance they make it look like it has with all that black down on the bottom. In actuality, this has about maybe 7 inches of ground clearance, I think it is. I'd be surprised if it's actually 7 inches, but more than enough for what it's for. This is an all-weather vehicle. It is not an off-road vehicle. It'll do okay on dirt roads. Don't try to do any more than that. Let's go look at the working end, and then I want to talk about that interior. So back here in the back, you can see it's a pretty good sized cargo space for the size of this vehicle. It is a little short just because it rakes really well back here, but otherwise this is a great cargo space. There's tie downs in the four corners. This lifts up. There's a good sized spot down there. We put a watermelon in there so it wasn't rolling around. That's a pretty good spot for a lot of things. Milk jug spot over there. This can lift up and put in, or you can lift it and throw it, put it back so it's not in the way. There is no spare tire. There is a jack kit. Actually, there is a spare tire. It's under there. You have to go under to get it. So otherwise, good cargo space. There's a 12-volt plug back here. There's a couple of grocery hooks, but they're kind of out of the way back here. You saw the seats. This is in the way, but hopefully you saw the seats back there. There's a 60-40 split with a ski pass-through in the middle. I'm just going to show you the back seats really quick. This has this wonderful kind of denim style cloth upholstery that is just awesome. I love this upholstery. So you can see there's cargo nets back there. You can throw some stuff in. Venting back here for climate. There are USB plugs down there, and the outer seats on this particular model are heated. So rubber floor mats and stuff were added on this. And let's see, you have like a spot to drop things right here, drink holders there, and a fold down for drink holders there. So pretty good setup back here. Let's go up front, talk about that. Up front here, very nice setup. I really love these denim seats. I have a lot of headroom. Even with this panoramic sunroof, I've still got 1.5 inches or so of headroom at 6'3". This seat, I believe, is all the way down. Yeah. But I love the layout in here and the comfort level. So there's this kind of faux wood or stone looking stuff that's actually plastic, but that has lighting behind it, so at night it's glowing. It's really neat. And most of the controls are pretty easy to figure out. Now, a couple things that are unique to this car. If you have the key on you, you don't have to do anything to start the car. When I sat down in the seat, it started up, for lack of a better word. The radio came on, the screen turned on, everything booted up and got ready to go. All I have to do from this point, because I have the key fob on me, is push the brake, shift it into drive, and then start going. Now, because it's electric, you can do one pedal driving, which means you can just use the throttle, and when you let off the throttle, it uses the motors to stop. It will illuminate the brake lights when you're slowing down quickly, and so on. So it is true one pedal driving, and that is awesome. It also has adaptive cruise that can go from 0 to whatever. So if you're in stop and go traffic, everything comes to a complete halt. The car will start back up when the vehicle in front of you starts going, so you don't have to run the throttle or take over in those situations. It will still do that stuff for you. You can just concentrate on steering. Now, a couple of things that annoy me. The first one is because the get in and sit down and it does its thing and get out and it shuts off thing, if you leave people in your car and you just run in like to the house because you forgot your hat or whatever, the whole car shuts off while they're sitting in here, and then it gets hot really quick, especially in the summer. So that's kind of an annoyance. You can turn that off over here or put a longer delay on it or whatever, which, you know, if you want to figure out how to do that stuff, then you should. But this system has a pretty long learning curve, mainly because there aren't other systems like it. It is unique to the market. Most of the stuff you're going to want to do is going to be either in the car status menu or in the owner's manual. So you're going to look up stuff in the owner's manual. Some of that links to the app on here that does it. But most everything is going to end up being in your car status menu on here. So anyway, most everything is pretty easy to do once you get used to it, but it does require a bit of a learning curve to make it happen. Setting up a phone was pretty easy. I just used the talk feature on the steering wheel, voice assistant, and then I just said connect my phone, and it took me right there and started walking through the process. Simple So that stuff's pretty awesome. This particular model has a couple of other things that I really like. I'm going to try to do an interior walkthrough and I'll show these more closely. But one of them that I really like is there's this flip up, and then where you can set your phone inside it, and your phone will be upright so you can see the screen, which is great if you're using your phone or the passenger's phone for navigation. Yeah, like I said, if I have time, I'm going to do an interior review on this. Looking at this storm that's approaching, I'm not going to be doing it today. But yeah, so let's wrap this up before, you know, lightning and thunder starts. And yeah, I suck at transitions. Okay, there you go. That is the 2023 Volvo XC40 Recharge. So again, the Recharge model specifically is the electric version versus the gasoline and so on that you can get with the regular XC40. Beautifully done car, really, really nice. I really like the feel of it. I like the way it drives. It's an enjoyable vehicle. Couple of downsides, mostly with the infotainment, but otherwise really, really good. All right, this has been Aaron, 2023 XC40 Recharge. Talk to you again soon.